Hey guys, welcome back to sportshacktv. Find out which 5 former UFC champions might get cut by the UFC next in 2020. But before we get to the list guys, please subscribe, comment and leave a like if you found this video interesting. Dana White recently admitted that his roster is already inflated and as many as 60 fighters might be cut by the end of this year. To find out which fighters are already cut by the UFC, click on the pop-up link above guys. These are the 5 former UFC champions who I think could be cut by the UFC going into the new year. At number 5, former UFC heavyweight champion, Junior Dos Santos. At the age of 36, Dos Santos is no old man, but his recent string of losses, having lost 4 fights in a row, show the wear and tear from the abuse his body has endured over the years. Junior Dos Santos lost to Francis Ngannou, Curtis Blades, Rosenstrike, and recently Cyril Gane. All these fights ended via TKO. Dos Santos just doesn't have the chin he once had in his prime and mostly covers up as he gets rocked by a punch most of the time, resulting in a TKO loss. Dana White did hint after the loss to Cyril Gane that the veteran should reconsider continuing in the sport, so it's highly likely JDR will be cut by the UFC in the coming weeks. Number 4. Former UFC welterweight champion, Tyrone Woodley. There is no secret to the fact that Dana White is not the biggest fan of Tyrone Woodley. Even during his UFC title run, White was critical of Woodley's fighting style, calling his fighting style boring and not worth paying to watch. Dana couldn't get rid of Woodley then, seeing as he was the champion and beat some of the best guys in the division at that time. But his recent string of losses to Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman, and Gilbert Burns might just be enough for Uncle Dana to terminate his contract. If Woodley does get to fight one more time, it's going to be the last opportunity he'll get at a comeback, so let's see where this goes. Number 3. Former UFC bantamweight champion Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz is undoubtedly one of the biggest pioneers still left on the UFC roster. The first bantamweight champion in the company, Cruz's unorthodox movement and game planning made him unbeatable in his prime. Injuries, however, have severely affected the 35-year-old since 2015. He's had a 2-fight losing streak against Cody Garbrandt back in 2016 and came back 4 years later to face Henry Cejudo in May of 2020. Cruz has transitioned over to the analyst's chair seamlessly over the past few years. He is reportedly slated to fight Casey Kenny at UFC 259, but should he lose that fight, retirement may be near. Number 2. Former UFC welterweight champion Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler's fall from grace has been quite staggering. Since losing his title to Tyron Woodley, Lawler just has picked up one win against Donald Cerrone back in 2017 and has lost 4 fights in a row since then against the likes of Ben Askren, Colby Covington, Rafael dos Anjos and Neil Magny, where he was dominated on the feet and on the ground. Now, 38 years old, Lawler doesn't have a lot to prove in the sport. A true veteran of the company, Lawler has had to pull out of his last 2 fights due to injuries. If he does get cut, Lawler will go down as one of the greatest champions in UFC history, and the idea of 5th round Lawler will live on. Finally, we get to the last fighter on my list, former UFC women's featherweight champion, Germaine de Randamie. Germaine de Randamie could be considered as the best martial artist in the women's bantamweight and featherweight divisions, if we exclude the current champ Amanda Nunes. Unfortunately for her, she's lost twice already to the double champion Amanda Nunes. In October, de Randamie said, and I quote, "If I get another shot at Amanda and she beats me, I'll retire right then and there on the spot. I will forever stay second best. There would be nothing left to do." The UFC may not be cutting de Randamie yet, although the promotion has stripped her of a title in the past for refusing to defend it against Chris Cyborg. However, should another loss to Amanda Nunes follow, de Randamie herself may call it quits. Well, that's it for my list of former UFC champions who might get cut by the UFC. Do subscribe, share, comment down below, and leave a like before you go check out my other videos. Bye bye guys, and as always, take care.